BMW decided the M3 was already fast enough to make your mother clutch the dashboard and rethink her life choices, but then said, now let's make it worse for her. The 2025 M3 did not just walk into the salon for a trim. It came out with a sharper jawline, a new haircut, and a suit that says, yes, I still lift. Starting with the headlamps, BMW carved them into slimmer, meaner eyes that glare like a gym bro spotting you for reps you never asked for. The headlights, slimmer, meaner, and judging you like your broke uncle who still thinks crypto will save him. The wheels, they look guilty even while parked, like they've already outrun child support. You pull up anywhere and people will swear you just got back from running from the cops. Shadowline accents, that's the car equivalent of showing up to a funeral in a black suit, but also packing a switchblade, respectful but terrifying. And that grille, still massive, still in your face, like the guy at the gym who grunts too loud but also secretly cries in his Honda Civic. This car doesn't want to blend in, it doesn't want to be tasteful. It wants to be seen, judged, and maybe ruin your marriage because suddenly you're spending more time polishing the car than texting back. And in today's video, we're going to break down exactly why the new M3 isn't just a car. It's a very expensive way to tell the world you're both successful and deeply unhinged. Let's just jump right into it. Step inside the 2026 BMW M3, and you will quickly realize this is not just a cabin. It is a cockpit designed to make you feel like a fighter pilot with a driver's license. Forget knobs and old school buttons. BMW clearly decided those belong in a museum. Instead, you get iDrive 8.5 running the show on a touchscreen so sharp and responsive, it makes you wonder why your actual phone lags every time you open Instagram. Right in front of you, the digital instrument cluster is a show-off. It is customizable, futuristic, and so crisp you will catch yourself staring at it while parked just to feel fancy. And then there is the head-up display, which has gone full sci-fi. With augmented reality navigation projecting arrows directly onto the glass, it is like your windshield is whispering, turn left or else. Of course, BMW knows you will not be satisfied with just looking at shiny screens, so they tossed in over-the-air updates to keep the tech fresh. Translation: your car basically gets smarter while you are asleep, kind of like a robot roommate, except this one does not eat your snacks. The semi-autonomous features? Oh, they are here too. Lane keeping and enhanced collision avoidance step in whenever your "I swear I am awake" driving gets a little too creative. Think of them as electronic guardian angels, if guardian angels came with German engineering and a 523 horsepower turbocharged engine. A new steering wheel, updated trim, and carbon fiber accents make the cabin look like a luxury lounge that just happens to double as a racetrack weapon. And those seats, hugging you so tightly through corners that you will either thank BMW or file a restraining order. Ambient lighting sets the mood because clearly BMW knows that if you are blasting down the Autobahn at night, the right shade of blue matters. So yes, the interior and tech are a mix of luxury, brains, and a little bit of attitude, kind of like James Bond if James Bond carried a laptop and updated his software over Wi-Fi. You know that one friend who always swears they will not drink tonight, then 15 minutes later is dancing on the table with a glass in each hand? That is basically the BMW M3. On paper it looks serious, twin-turbo 3-liter inline-6, up to 523 horsepower if you get the competition X-Drive. But the moment you get behind the wheel, it is all chaos, temptation, and a very expensive excuse to replace your rear tires. The standard M3, if you can even call 473 horsepower and a 6-speed manual standard, is that quiet troublemaker. The one who lures you in, says just one drift. Then suddenly you're sideways across 2 lanes wondering how you became a stunt driver. Step up to the M3 competition and the thing adds another 30 ponies and swaps your manual for an 8-speed automatic, like it knows better than you. But then it goes one further with the all-wheel drive system. It is smart enough to keep you glued to the road, but cheeky enough to include a rear drive mode that practically begs you to misbehave. Fuel economy? Sure, it says 16 miles per gallon in the city and 23 miles per gallon on the highway. But in the real world, it over-delivers with 32 miles per gallon on a highway test. It is like a gym bro who actually eats salads when no one is watching. You expect pure brute force, but then it surprises you with efficiency just to rub it in the face of every Prius owner. The suspension is like that friend who adjusts to every mood you have. Adaptive dampers read the road, your style, and maybe even your questionable life decisions and change accordingly. Drive gently and it is comfy. Drive like you're being chased by the International Revenue Service and it stiffens up, keeping you in control. BMW even gives you an adaptive M suspension option that basically says, do not worry, I will take care of the details while you try not to hit the guardrail. And the brakes, you can get them carbon ceramic with gold calipers. Gold, because apparently stopping from 150 miles per hour is not impressive unless you look like Midas himself blessed your wheels. Optional M Sport brakes with big red calipers are also available if you prefer your stopping power to scream angry Ferrari fan. Of course, BMW could not resist adding toys like the M Drift Analyzer. Imagine your car grading you on how stupidly sideways you went, like a drunk coach cheering you on in slow motion. It is not even pretending anymore. The M3 wants you to misbehave, and it is going to give you a report card afterwards. But here is where it gets even juicier. Rumors say the 2026 M3 will step it up again with a reworked S58 inline-six. More horsepower, more torque, quicker acceleration. BMW engineers are basically standing in a lab somewhere, figuring out new ways to get you arrested faster. And the real twist, hybrid power might join the party. The M3 waking up in the morning, taking a shot of espresso, and then chasing it with an energy drink. That is hybrid power in this car. Sharper, quicker, angrier. And no, BMW is not giving up the xDrive system. Why would they? It means traction when you need it and chaos when you want it. Throw in improved aerodynamics and weight distribution, and suddenly you are not just driving a car, you are negotiating with a beast that is somehow both polite and violent. So yes, the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio might feel more dramatic, but the M3 is like that friend you trust to drive you home, and also the same friend who convinces you to take the long way back just to see if the tires will last another burnout. And honestly, if you are pumped about this car, you should be, because every sign points to it becoming one of those models people will remember, argue about on forums, and post burnout videos of until their neighbors call the cops. Now, BMW likes to brag about driver engagement being its top priority. Translation: it wants you focused, thrilled, and maybe slightly terrified. But hey, that does not mean it skimps on keeping you alive. The M3 packs the usual alphabet soup of safety features: blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, lane departure warning, and lane keeping assist. It even offers adaptive cruise control, which is basically the car saying, "Fine, I will handle traffic while you complain about gas prices." If you want crash test gossip, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration (NHTSA) and the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety (IIHS) are where you will get the receipts. Warranty-wise, BMW does not exactly outshine its German cousins Audi or Mercedes-AMG. Everyone's playing in the same 4 years or 5,000 miles sandbox. But BMW does toss in complimentary maintenance for 3 years or 36,000 miles. Not bad, not Jaguar-level generous either, but still enough to make you feel like they care at least until year 4, when suddenly every rattle in the cabin sounds like it is plotting to bankrupt you. BMW still has not tattooed the release date on anyone's forehead yet. What we do know is that the 2026 M3 will probably show up at Cardina's BMW sometime between late 2025 and early 2026, which is BMW speak for, "We will tell you when it is ready, and you will wait like everyone else." Until then, the best you can do is stay glued for pre-order news, performance teasers, and those cryptic half-sentences car companies love to drop. So, the bottom line, the 2026 BMW M3 is shaping up to be the kind of legend you either save up for, or at least stalk on YouTube while someone else redlines it on your behalf. Stay tuned, because this car is coming and it is not the type to arrive quietly. And there you have it, the 2026 BMW M3. A car so mean it could probably bench press your neighbor's Camry without breaking a sweat. Between the power, the tech, and that hint of hybrid mystery, this thing is shaping up to be less of a sedan and more of a four-wheeled middle finger to boredom. Would you actually buy one, or just wallpaper your phone with it and call it a day? Drop your answer in the comments, because I know some of you are already pretending you can hear that turbo spool in your dreams. Either way, stay tuned, thighs is just the beginning, and trust me, you do not want to miss what comes next.